Hi, everybody. I'm Shannon Johnson, if you didn't know. Welcome to today's session. This is going to be more of a class type of video today that should hopefully help a lot of people. Anybody working with energy, sleep, awake, doesn't matter. It's for all. This is going to be about protections, boundaries, cleansing, and clearing, not just for your home, but for your personal energy, tools to use when you're working with other people, whether it's doing healing work, mediumship, working in the corporate office, anything where your energy is getting impacted by others. Morning, Teresa. So, there's a lot of information. Hopefully will get shared today. I made a few notes, although I don't script anything. So, I'm seeing a lot of people starting to use their abilities, and yet they're running into issues with sleep, issues with going to the stores, feeling really drained, feeling super amped up. Even when they're going from one reading to another reading, or like when I used to do massage, going from one client to the next client, doing Reiki work, going from one client to the next client. And one of the things I found was that a lot of people are not aware of the different tools that we have available for us to continually be able to work on our energies so that we're not getting depleted, and using more of the energy around us and universal energy. So, lots of things to share today. Somebody just scratched on the back of my computer. Okay. So first I want to get into, let's get into some protections, because that's a starting point for anybody that is working with any kind of energy tools or doing any type of energy work, or even for the empaths that are highly sensitive to energy, and even for people not aware of the energy that they've got that they're working with. So there's all kinds of forms of protections to use, and it's really up to you in working with ones that resonate with where you are currently. And these are areas too that I'm going to tell you, they need to grow. They need to grow with you. They need to change with you. Energy is always in motion. We're changing and growing all the time. Even the aging process changes things. So know that these are areas that, yeah, once you get in the habit, they're really easy and you can almost forget about them. But you also need to be aware that you need to do resets. You need to expand them as you continue through your life. Good morning, Chris. So, lots of forms of protections. There's sachets. You make them yourself. Guess what? Sachets are made with herbs and plants. Sometimes you can use a crystal with them. Sachets are fantastic for helping you throughout the day. I have a little personal one that I carry that has the stones that are particular for my energy and what I do. For my work with spirit, and I'm not going to show the crystals in it, I'm only showing the bag. Okay, there's other kinds of sachets that I'm going to tell you, yeah, you can buy the little bags, but a lot of times what's even better to use is pieces of material that you have around, pieces of felt. Doesn't need to be clear, doesn't need to be perfect, okay? But go with the perfection. It's really something you create that is resonating with you. So sachets, they can be made for personal wear, like mine. This one, I wear it every day. Where do I wear it? I stuff it in my bra. Okay, ain't nobody gonna know. They're not looking at my bra. I know it's there, it helps me. For a lot of men, you can put it in your toolbox. You can put it in your pocket. You can also make these and put it in your car, carry it in a purse. You attune them to you. You're right, Chris. They're very easy. They can be really simple. They're also something that you can use in the home. And so we're gonna bounce a little bit back and forth between personal and home, because your home should be your sanctuary where you can have things set and be able to live freely without having to constantly think about your boundaries, your protections, your cleansings, your clearings. So these are going to go hand in hand, back and forth, personal and home. Okay. The other nice part about sachets that you make for home, it's all on the energy and the intent. And the nice part about it is you can change them up, refresh them. You can pin it and make it look decorative above a doorway, your front door, your back door. Okay, these are the people come in and out of these. Traffic, energy is coming in and out of these all the time. So you can put them there. They're very easy. And I'm going to show you two books that are my absolute favorite books, because they really have a lot of tools available as far as, giving you information to help you with building your sachet, using crystals, using plants, using herbs. I use them all over my house. I use them for what's going on the outside of my house. What plants do I want to plant in the garden or in the flower beds that are enhancing the protections and boundaries that I've got placed on it? So, one, Cunningham's Encyclopedia of Magical Herbs. Fantastic resource, fantastic resource. In the back, they've got lots of information as far as what plants have what type of ability, whether it's protection, whether it's cleansing, whatever the intent is. Now, in particular, because of today's topic of discussion, right, protection to gain. There is, protection to gain starts way down here on the page, right? It goes from here all down this list. An entire page of herbs, flowers, plants, trees that carry that energy, okay? So these can be used for sachets. These can be used to surround your home. They can be used in your home, like aloe plants. I have a ton of aloe plants. Aloe plants are great inside the house for protection. They're awesome. They also help to transmute and transform energy. Woo! Easy plant to take care of. I can't kill it. I'm not good with plants. My husband is. So we work with it together to be able to enhance what we're already setting the intention of our home is to be. Crystals. Let's get in a little bit about crystals. Now, this is my favorite book about crystals. 101 Power Crystals. Okay. Crystals are another great way to enhance your protections and your boundaries. Enhance, okay? Keyword. They're not doing it for you. They're helping you. And it's in the intent of not only the crystal, but how you empower it, okay? So there's a couple crystals that are specific for protection, like black tourmaline. It is the power stone of protection. That is its primary active energy charge, right? And we're going to be getting up and down too, by the way. So, because I can't reach this all the time. Back here behind me, you can see I have an entire altar. And my altar is being shown today because I am going to change it. So what you're seeing now is just what's been, and it's going to change. Black tourmaline. These are raw. You can get them polished. But hey, it's a great stone for protection. I have them above my windows. I have them at the sinks, okay? Why would I have it at the bathroom sink? Because guess what? Water is an energy charger. It's a conduit for energy. But guess what? Our plumbing is something that's like a wide open, flowing energy source, right? It can get tapped into. It can get distorted, especially if you've got a lot of spirit activity in your home, right? I have a lot of spirit activity in my home all the time. I invite it, by the way. It is particular set. But there again, I have black tourmaline at all the sinks, in all the bathrooms, at every window. They're charged with a particular intent. Those are my workers, little worker bees. Okay? Great stone for it. I also use one on my computer when I'm working with a client, because guess what? I get interference in on my computer, and there's a lot of energy going on. So I use it to protect the energetic connection between me and the client and the spirits we're working with, right? Let me see, a couple other ones over here. Hematite. Itty bitty little hematite. Black obsidian. Simple, small stones. Easy to carry, toss in your pocket, toss in your purse, forget about it. One thing when you're working with crystals though, when you buy new crystals, go by feel, buy the one that is drawn to you or you are drawn to. When you bring home your crystals, make sure you do a good cleansing on them. Okay, and we're going to get more into cleansings and clearings in a few. But it's an often mistake that people just come home and they're so excited about them and they put them in their pockets. These crystals have been handled by multiple people. They've been shipped. They've been tumbled like these. Okay, you need to reset them. You need to clear the previous energy that's been holding them, that's been touching them, that's been in contact with them from all sources. Clear them. Water, running water, there's lots of different ways. So clear them, clean them out, and then do a little activation, waking them up with the power of the intent of the energy you want them to work with. Use the energy that crystal is most known to accentuate. That's its power. That's where it's coming from Mother Earth, from its formation. So you're going to want to attune it. You're attuning it to you. You're attuning it to the intent of what you want it to do. Okay? And it doesn't take long. It's a few moments. Once you have it cleaned, hold it in your hand. Maybe you do both hands, okay? You don't want things crossing on the body because that interrupts the flow of the energy. And you just take a moment and you wake them up and you activate them with You can use a small prayer. You can pretty much use any verbiage that you want to use as long as the intent and the energy is clear in what you're doing. If you're not using your crystals any longer, you bought some new ones. Put them to sleep. Deactivate them. It helps the stone so that it is actually now becoming whole in itself again. It's not going to get overworked. And whenever you need it, all you have to do is wake it back up again, just like a sleeping baby. Yeah, we're going to get in a little bit on grids too there, Chris. All right, some other ones. Malachite. Malachite's a great stone. It'll wake up all kinds of things. Let me look. I made a couple notations of some other ones. Yeah, malachite is transmutation. It's one of the reasons why I wanted to bring that one up. Okay. If you're unsure of what crystal to use, you can never go wrong with, where are you, man? Where'd you hide? I have a lot of stones of his. I just woke some of you guys up. Where'd you go? Oh, just a moment. I just brought home some new babies, so they've been in their cleaning process. I haven't woken them up yet. Clear quartz. Clear quartz is an all-around basic stone. It's got an awesome energy on it. It's very simple to work with. You're not sure, you don't know where to start, get yourself some clear quartz. It's a good stone to start off with. Malachite, transformation, transmutation of energy. Artie, excuse me, sir, move on. Artie loves to get in on sessions, as you all probably are aware of. So we're surrounded by kitties at the moment. All right, so that's a couple on some easy crystals to find that are inexpensive, okay? I'm one that I don't always have money to spend on this stuff, so why am I gonna stress about it, right? Easy tools, things around the house. All right, now we're gonna get into the goodie drawer. Everybody has a junk drawer. I have a goodie drawer. And you'll notice that my goodie drawer of all my tools is at my altar. Okay? My altar as well is placed in the home in the farthest left-hand corner from the front door, which in Feng Shui is your abundance corner. So isn't that a great place to put all of your tools, I guess to say, for the intent of what you're doing, what you're working with, what your home, what you, your family want to work with as far as an energy intent. And you'll notice that my altar has 6 elements. Okay? We all know about 5 elements, right? I blended Eastern medicine and Western medicine, right? Because that's just kind of my thing in spirit. So in Chinese medicine, you've got water, earth, air, fire, metal. Metal is the 5th element. Okay? In energy work, a lot of times we only talk of 4. Fire, earth, air, water. 5th element can be spirit, ether, energy. So my altar is set up with, I've got fire. There's my fire. There's my candles when I light them. But otherwise, they're here. They represent the fire element, right? Air, well, that's kind of obvious because it's surrounded by air. Air is able to flow in and out of all the spaces. It's not restricted and limited within like a container, right? So it allows airflow. Colors are important, okay? I've integrated lots of different colors because colors corresponding with chakra systems, soul energy colors, intent, colors of intent, right? What else is up here? Fire, air. I have a water fountain. There's my water. And it's got rock. It's part of earth, right? Crystals are also part of earth. I got some acorns from the tree, part of earth. That pecan, part of the tree. Also have flowers, right? Because when we're working with energy, we want to use the tools that surround us. Why not? That's what they're there for. By inviting those energies in to be a part of, it allows that you're not using so much of your own personal energy to have to keep these things flowing and going. So empowering and the intention all comes into play. Metal. Metal. Simple, right? A candle holder. It's made of metal. Perfect. It's been cleansed. It's been charged. The metal is active. There are several different pieces with metal on them. It's activating. It's the intent that I put with them. Now, let's get into some other little fun tools, right? So, I'm going to kind of bounce into cleansing and clearing because there's lots of different ways of doing it. And we're going to do simple and complicated. We're going to cover in between sessions, visualizations, all those different fun things. I want to get into the goodie drawer, my favorite. Now, dragon's blood incense. Okay, I love dragon's blood. Why do I like dragon's blood? Not only does it smell great, most people aren't kind of freaked out about it if they walk into your house and they smell dragon's blood compared to when they're smelling white sage, right? I do have white sage incense, okay? Stick form, I've got cone form, because I like incense. And guess what? It's an easy way to refresh the energy rather than having to go into a whole smudging. It's a nice way to help you to keep that smudging energy continuing until the next time you need to smudge, right? Easy. I like easy. They even now have Reiki energy incense. Woohoo! All right. So, we're going. Can you tell the difference of which is which? This one is cedar. This one is white sage. Now, is one more powerful than the other? No, they're the same. They're the same. They have the same power in cleansing or smudging, whether you're doing it on yourself, whether you're doing it on your home, whether you're doing it for somebody else. Now, the one thing I will tell you is that if you're using a smudge stick on your own personal home or your family, right, don't use that same smudge stick when you go out to cleanse a neighbor or a client. Don't mix it, okay? Because there again, your energy, the people you were working on, are now connected to that stick. Use a fresh one. They're not expensive, okay? Use a fresh one. Burn it down. Take care of everything that you need to do and allow that one to be your working stick, okay? And the ones for home, the ones for your family, for yourself, are separate. And I say that because there's lots of ways that we pick up energy from others. And this, when you're doing a cleansing on yourself, your home, your family, it's very intimate. You're very connected within the energy of everybody that you're working in. Think of your tools in that same format. This is just a conduit. So for outside of the home, outside of the personal family, use something fresh. And when even if you still have half a stick left and you're wanting to use it again, right? That's fine. Go ahead and take a moment and clear the energy of it, right? Here we go again. Hands, intensive energy coming in and going out. And just do a little simple mental incantation of any sort that you feel right. Right? I'm going to tell you, words. Get rid of the words no, not, never. Okay? They drop out. Universe doesn't think they exist. So leave them. Watch your words. Watch your intent. And you can reset just about anything. Okay? So I love using both of these, and I like to do them in alteration in my home, as well as if I'm working on other people, including my family members. Because even though they have the same work, they have an different energy basis of the plants that they came from. Okay. Cedar trees are really powerful. They get very big and strong and beautiful trunks. And a sage plant is much more delicate. And even though the energies for the cleansings are just as powerful as one another, I like to rotate them because, oh, why not, right? Let's dig into, and they do come in bigger sizes. And as you can tell, I use my cedar stick quite a bit. This was a large one. There's another good one. This is my charcoal burner. What are you going to do with charcoal burner? Well, the nice thing about using charcoal for doing a cleansing or a clearing, right? They're versatile. So, if this is a pack of charcoal rounds, okay? I'll pull one out from my other little bag. Now, the nice thing about working with charcoal versus the sticks is that, you know, especially if you're wanting it to, you're not wanting to go around, but you're wanting to do more of a refresh of the energy in your home, for your personal self, however you're wanting to do it. A nice charcoal round. See, it's got that nice little dip inside, right? Nice little dip inside. So, now before I had one of these, I used one of my kitchen metal bowls, literally. Okay. Charcoal. You want to be safe, okay? Anytime you're dealing with fire, please use safety, common sense. Safety, common sense with fire items. So, The nice thing about charcoal is that it's versatile. You can use oils, you can use resins, you can use herbs, you can use combinations. Combinations. Now me, I like to take some charcoal and back into the goodies. Here we go. I've got two of them. Woo-hoo, all stacked up. All right. This is dragon's blood resin. Okay, it's nice and red, deep, chunky. I got two. Okay. Now, so what would you do? You would put your charcoal inside your little burner, and you pick out a chunk of resin. Okay. Now, I like to combine my resins, especially when I'm doing a cleansing and clearing. And these are my favorite. Where did my other one go? Thank you. Okay. Guess what? It wasn't just for the wise men. Myrrh. M-Y-R-R-H. Good old myrrh. My other one I like to use with dragon's blood, especially when I want to really power shit out. Frankincense. Woo-hoo. Love these. Love these combined with the dragon's blood onto a piece of charcoal. Now, I like to use black salt. And for those of you not familiar with black salt, it's extremely powerful. Do not work with black salt unless you are knowledgeable about how to work with black salt properly out there. You can use white salt, sea salt, Himalayan salt, if you're wanting. Just look at the power and the intent that those energies have for what you're using. But most of the time, if I'm going to do a cleansing on a space or on a person that I'm just wanting to kind of fill the room with, I'll go with charcoal and resins. Very easy. The intent of the energy is as you're building it, okay? As you're putting the pieces together, as you're lighting it, getting it flowing, getting that smoke to start filling the space. That's your moment of empowering the energy of the tools that you're using. Okay? White copal is another good one to add in. It can increase, amplify the other resins. Okay? So those are a couple of nice ones. Charcoal with oils. You can mix resins and oils. Okay, so if you prefer, we got it. Back in the drawer. I love this stuff. Like I have a frankincense and myrrh combination oil. Okay, that's another good one. I can put it on the charcoal. I can add it to an incense. I can sprinkle it in other places. You can even wear it as a perfume if you want to. Okay? So, Palo Santo wood chips. Okay, this is another good one that you can use instead of the sage sticks, instead of the cedar sticks, instead of the resin. You can use Palo Santo stick. You can use it with charcoal in a burner like this. You can also use it in a glass or metal bowl. You can add herbs to it, herbs, spices. Your kitchen has a ton of value beyond cooking. A lot of the herbs and spices are extremely powerful for the different types of work that we do, as far as energy workers or empaths, mediums, massage therapists, Reiki healers. more physical facilitators like me. All of those different things, or even just for the people who are getting bombarded with shit from the news, from going to work and dealing with people, okay? All of this is transferable. It's relatable. I find with Palo Santo, Chris, that one of the best ways to take a chunk off, and I use it with charcoal and an oil, combining it, because then the oil will tend to catch faster, and then the charcoal can help the stick burn better. I'm not a real expert with Palo Santo sticks. There's something new that I've gotten into working with as a tool. I also like to have it added into my altar, which is why I have new ones. Because like I said, my altars can be changing. So that's one of those things that can be added in. But they are a little bit of a struggle, just like any of the sticks, any of the other items, as far as getting them to burn. It takes a little bit. And I also have noticed that when there is a lot of stuck energy going on, it can be personal, it can be home, it can be a conglomeration of stuck energy, that it's harder to get your sticks going. Doesn't matter if it's palo stick, sage stick, cedar stick, any of those. I even find it sometimes with charcoal that it's kind of like they keep blowing it out. And usually what I have to do is take a moment, kind of center it, blow out what I've got around it, and then relight it and almost keep the flame. I like to use the big lighters for these things. Keep that flame held onto a side of it for about a count of 15 seconds. And at that same time, I'm kind of surrounding that stick in a ball of its own so that it can expel out and not get the energy hits in it. Okay. Candles. Let's talk about candles, because hey, you know what? When you're smudging, everybody's like, you gotta have your candle, you gotta have your abalone shell, you gotta have your feather. I don't use a feather, I don't use an abalone shell. I use either a metal bowl or glass bowl for the ash side of it. Okay, because I like to have hands on with the stick. I don't like to stick it in the bowl and fluff it with a feather. Okay, I like to be more aggressive with it, I guess. So, candles. People think you have to go and buy a whole bunch of expensive freaking candles, and you don't. Okay, here again, tools can be simple. Tools can be inexpensive. So, color, okay. White, we all know, white's protection, okay? White's clear. It is the absence of all colors. Black is the conglomeration of all colors. So black is not bad, okay? Throw that out. I like to do different fire ceremonies, or even if I'm going to do some other kind of particular cleansing work, then I like to incorporate a crystal grid, a fire, and I got lots of herbs and goodies in the fire for the intent of the work. But one of the things that I prefer is to make sure that my circle is surrounded by candles. Now, does it need to be expensive candles? No. Tea lights. the cheapest freaking candle you can use, right? It's just wax. The intent of the energy I put with the candle. But these are great versatile little white light candles that you can use in everything, right? Guess what else I've used? Or do use? And I know people are gonna laugh, going, really? Birthday candles. Guess what? They work. The power and the intent, the energy you put with them is what changes it from just being a blob of wax to something of a different intent. So yeah, if you don't have a lot of space, you don't want to use a lot of things, you can use these and they're cheap, they're inexpensive. I like to use black and white a lot because I like to have the balance of white light and dark light. Absence of color, combination of all color, right? Red. Why would you use a red candle? A lot of people affiliate red with bad energy. But guess what? Red is a root chakra, right? Nothing bad there. Red, when you're using it with the intent to put other candles, or even if you're using it standalone, this is power. This is an amplification color. It adds power to the intent of the energy you're working with. Nothing bad with it, right? Perfect. So don't be afraid of it. Don't shy away from it. It can amplify anything that you're working in. If you're wanting to do meditations and you're struggling with that connection, you can use a red candle to help empower the connection further. You can see I got like red roses all over my thing here and stuff. Is there any difference between rock crystals and tumbled crystals? Not really. Depends on the intent of the work you're doing. I love rock crystals. They have a different energy to them. They haven't been manipulated and handled very much, so it's a really nice thing to work with. So let me go back to the incense for a few minutes. A lot of times I use incense when I'm working with a client. Now, when I was doing massage therapy, of course, I couldn't use it because you never know what the people are sensitive to, right? Okay, that's where you got to change it up and use a little bit other things like crystals in your pockets, the intent of the energy that you're using around. Otherwise, when I'm doing a reading, I like to have an incense going because it kind of helps to set the energy that I'm going to dive into. And you never know what your client's coming in with, okay? You're the conduit, the electrical outlet in the wall for both sides to connect into, and just the translator. But what I find is that using these kinds of tools helps me to not be using as much of my own energy, keeping a clear space for what's transpiring, and it allows me also post-session to release and let go of the energy I was just in. This I want to talk about a lot because you know how you end up seeing doctors like a cardiologist been in practice for 30 years, and the next thing he knows, he's got heart problems. A chiropractor working in the field for 30 years starts to have back issues. A massage therapist or an energy healer, whether it's Reiki, hands-on healing, whatever your form is, starts to exhibit illnesses, tiredness, draining, okay? And what I'm seeing is that people are diving in, but you're not realizing that, or you haven't been aware of, you're needing to kind of shift what you're working with, and you need to be clearer. I ran into this myself, okay? I've been doing this stuff for a while, and as a massage therapist, it was aggravating my own health issues. And it was one of those moments where I kind of got cuffed in the head by my guides going, hey, you're not paying attention, are you? Okay. So, some good visualizations to use. When you're working with clients, when you're post with clients, all right, we tend to use our own energy a lot. And that's where we start getting the issues and the blockages and the ups and downs. And today I feel good, and tomorrow I might be like amplified 50,000 and I feel like I'm about to jump out of my body. And then the next day I might be completely wiped out and need to sleep for 15 hours. What's happening is your own energy system is going through ups and downs, and it's collecting what you're working with. Whether you're doing it in readings, whether you're only working with spirit for yourself, whether you're working with Mother Earth energy, the public, in any format, any and all formats working with the public. You're going into places, in and out of places, grocery shopping, all these things impact energy. They all have an energy. They all collect energy from all the people that go into them. So as empaths, as sensitives, as healers, as mediums, as conduits, as whatever your thing is, okay, one of the keys is paying attention to what's going on with your energy. So for me, one of the keys was I had to learn the hard way. Open your channels. Do a protection prayer. Do whatever you do to set your energy and open up that flow from universe, source, God, whatever name you have for it, it doesn't matter, okay? Bring that in. Let that be the energy used for what you're doing instead of your personal energy, okay? It's going to change, and you're going to end up finding you're more effective because it's not got your own crap garbled into it, okay? It's like flowing water. That's one of my visualizations I love to use. Flowing water. Flow a shower of light. Use it. Make it you can have it bridged, you can have it whatever. I like to picture it as just a funnel coming in through the crown. When I'm working with people, it comes in through the crown, it's going out through my voice, it's coming out through my hands, it's coming out through my heart to the client. My own personal energy is getting a benefit because it's that energy that's being used and not my own. While you're doing the work, allow that flow to keep going. The other key to remember is that you are also 95% of us that do this kind of work, we are energy transformers. Our soul energy, our auric energy, the layers of our energy are transformative and transmutation, okay? But we don't get to know that a lot of times, right? So here we're just pushing that muck. We're getting all those channels clear on other people, and we're just doing it, and we're picking up, oh, you got this issue, you got that issue, we're doing it, we're clearing you, resetting you. Guess what? Your energy is the power plant transformer of it, right? And that's where we end up picking up muck that's not ours, emotions that are not ours, blockages that are not ours. And if we're not paying attention to the flow by pushing that stuff back out, it sticks. Like sticky glue all over us, right? And you don't notice it at first. It builds, okay? And next thing you know, you're having a struggle. You're wishing, what the hell's going on? It's all those little pieces, kind of like static cling. Thank you, static cling. All right. So when you're working, open up the channel, right? You're now using universal energy instead of your own personal energy. Allow that to be the energy being utilized for the purpose that you're working in. At the same time, you can start using another visualization partnered with it, where everything you're pulling off, all that other energy, it's got to go somewhere, right? Because energy isn't destroyed. It changes form, does not destroy. Bring it in. You can either bring it in to you or however you feel. What I used to do was I pretty much brought it into the solar plexus because I'm sending out through the heart. Okay? Bring it in through the solar plexus, and guess where I'm flushing it out at? No, not in my urine. I'm flushing it out of my feet. Okay? I like to wear barefoot. But barefoot, shoes on, pantyhose, really doesn't matter. Okay? Energy and intent. Energy and intent. So the visualization I like to use is I'm sending out, it's coming into the solar plexus, and my solar plexus, through my breathing, breath is important, through my breathing, as I am exhaling, I am flushing just like a toilet, flushing that energy down. It's not going into my other chakras. I'm not allowing it. That's a boundary I have, okay? Flushing it down, out of the feet, back to Mother Earth, back to the universe to transform and transmute, rather than my energy doing it. So instead it becomes a cycle, right? I'm going out, this is coming in, back out, and it's got to flow. It's not staying stagnant. It's not getting an opportunity because the boundary and the intent is already set. So it's not having an opportunity to stick to me like static cling. It's having to flush like water. Like that one, Teresa? So, flush it out of the feet. I used to have some clients come into my massage room, and I loved them dearly, but man, they kicked my ass energetically. And we don't all have the opportunities to go outside. Okay? So I would have to focus afterwards, be like, okay, they're out. And I would literally picture, visualization again. I literally would picture an energy shower. Okay? It's another great tool. Visualization. Don't be afraid of it. Change it up. Work with it. And this is one of my favorites to use all the time now because I've gotten so used to it. It's become easy. Okay? Some tools are hard in the beginning, but the more practice you get with it, they get really easy. So an energy shower, right? Everybody takes a shower. Everybody knows about a shower. You get in the water, you get the spray down on you, right? Same concept, just instead of water, you're using energy. And so there again, I set the intent of the divine light of the highest power, cleansing and clearing my energy from top to bottom. Key point, don't just let it run on the outside of you. You want it to come in, into the ground, into the top of that head. Bring it in, into your body. Let it hit every cell. Let it feel like if it's dripping out of your fingertips, out of your toes, like it's just whoosh, out of you, all right? Great and easy way. It's quick. It's something you can do and nobody's ever aware of. Because guess what? You can be in the middle of the grocery line and be getting bombarded and go, wait a minute, I need a second. Nobody else is going to notice that you're doing an energy shower energetically through your head. They're not going to know. But you're going to feel better. You're not going to get so much static flame from everybody else that's in line with you. And you're going to be able to breathe and make it out the door. Another good one. A lot of people struggle with grounding. Grounding is something that everybody can do, but not everybody does it in the same way. Okay? So when you've got one person saying, this is the only way that you can do that tool, I'm going to say, bullshit, okay? Because there's lots of ways of doing it. There's lots of ways to do all of these things. And it's the right tool that works for you. And as you grow and expand, you may need to change it up. Don't be afraid to change it up. So for me, grounding is an issue. I tend to flip in and separate from my body a lot. Okay? And I had to really work at grounding. But everybody was like, oh, you just grow roots out of the bottoms of your feet and down into Mother Earth in this great visualization and everything. And I could do it, but it didn't last. I'm like, well, this doesn't last very long. My energy doesn't like to go that direction. Okay. Nature. There's where we can live, right? Because not every plant grows roots deep. Not every tree has a root system going down, 100 feet into the ground. Some of them are a little bit more spiderweb and on top of the earth, and yet they're getting everything they need through these more shallow connections. Some people need it more like a plant, maybe a creeping plant, right? So grounding doesn't always need to be this one set avenue. You can do it in other ways. Some people need to feel like their feet have suddenly gone and done the creepy crawl out and they connect to earth. And then it goes out a little bit further and it connects to earth. It goes out a little bit further and it connects to earth. Why not? Okay? Use it. If it works with your energy, use it. There's no wrong way. About the only wrong thing I know of to really express to you is that no, not, never, even contractions of, drop off of the universal language. So those are the big wrong ones, okay? All right. So where are we going next? I don't think I have any powders. I had a note down to also talk about powders. But I don't have any at the moment. I have tons of resin though, right? Here we go. Back in the big drug, guys. I did want to talk about powder though, okay? And I'm talking powder like white sage powder, cedar powder, dragon's blood powder. You can buy these, you can order them and all kinds of things, okay? So basically, it's the resin form that has now been crushed into powder, okay? If you have a, okay, pour a mortar and pestle is filled with flour. So if you have a mortar and pestle, you can also grind up your resin into a powder form. And I'm bringing this up because this is one of my other little cheats, I guess, to say on cleansing and clearing, especially on the house. Because guess what? You always got to vacuum and mop, right? Who doesn't? You can add these powers to your mop water. Right? Not drop. Yes. You can add these to your cleaning products. And it will have the intent of the energy you give it on helping to cleanse and clear the energy throughout your house. Throughout those who walk upon your house, upon your floors. Okay? So that's another great tool. Yes, you can use it for vacuuming. All right. The only thing I would say is be careful. Don't use dragon's blood. Excuse me. Don't use dragon's blood powder on your carpet unless you have a dark colored carpet because it is a red powder. So you might want to do something a little bit more staged. And also, if you don't have powder form, didn't buy it, don't have it, guess what? Every sage stick, right? When you buy your sage sticks, come on out of it. There's always these lovely little pieces and shreds down below. And if not, you can click part of your sage stick and crush it and crumble it. Sprinkle it on your floors. Okay? Intent. Energy and intent that you're working with. Sprinkle it on your floors, sprinkle it on your carpet with the intent of cleansing and clearing. Because I tell you what, carpet holds a lot of stagnant energy. Right? You ever notice you get a lot of static clean from carpet, depending on how you're walking on it? Static clean. Okay? Key. You can go ahead and crush it. Sprinkle it on your carpet. While you're sprinkling it, it's powering the intent of the energy that you're wanting. Give it a few moments, and then go back and vacuum it. And you'll notice that it feels lighter and lifted up. Great stuff. Oh, what? I'm not answering you. So, that's those things. Boundaries. I want to take a minute about boundaries because I haven't addressed that yet. Your boundaries are not just you have to have strength and belief and intent and power into your boundaries. Because if you make it a request, right? Oh, would you please? Could you please? Guess what? They're going, yeah, I'm going to stop all over it. Okay? Boundaries are not just for the living, they're for spirit. They are for every facet of our lives, and especially for empaths, energy workers, mediums, psychics, healers, and the list goes on and on and on and on and on. Okay? There is no limitation. There is no restriction in who boundaries work for. But you are the creator of your boundaries. And depending on what you put as your boundaries, if you are leaving lots of wiggle room, you're going to get lots of wiggle room. Okay? So I've seen a lot in the different communities and even with clients and things like that, especially those that are really getting into opening up their abilities. One of the biggest things that happens is our sleep gets impacted. Okay, and we start noticing we're getting woken up by spirits a lot, or we're not getting enough REM sleep, or we're in out of body experiences a lot, or it's just like, oh my God, it could be quiet all day long while I'm awake, but as soon as I lay down to sleep, their spirit is. There's everybody. Everybody, it's kind of like, okay, I'm a mom, I'm a grandma, and we all know that a mom is never able to pee, shower, talk on the phone, or do anything that it isn't all of a sudden that's when everybody needs your attention, right? We can relate. Same thing about when we go to sleep. This was something I really struggled with. Okay, I went through quite a period of having issues with my sleep and getting those highs and those lows, right? You're like amped because, man, it's like you feel like 15 spirits must have plugged into you and put 240 volts of energy into you, and you're like, I may have only had a half hour of sleep in the last 48 hours, but oh my God, I'm like pinging out of my body. Or, oh my God, I haven't slept in like 4 days. I don't feel like I've had, but yet I was in bed for 8 hours and I know I was supposed to be asleep. You're not getting REM. Physical body needs REM. It is restorative. It is part of how the physical body is able to heal, reset, restore, complete. Okay? If you're like me and you have a partner that sleeps in the bed with you, because I'm married, right? That space is shared. If I'm not getting good sleep, he's not getting very good sleep either, because guess what? Toss, turn. Or, oh, there's a spirit that wants to give me a message. Okay, let me get my new book out. One eye. Let's get a little glow of light going on. Right? We've all had it happen. I have very strict boundaries on my bedroom and on my sleep. And this took me a while to do. It was a practice. I had to keep at it and keep at it and keep kind of adjusting it and adjusting it. One of the things I flat out told my spirit team, I was like, I can't keep doing this, okay? Because it begins to affect your health. It begins to affect your mental body. It begins to affect your spiritual body, your emotional body, all the layers of you. So I started working with mine, and since I have a partner that shares that space with me, there is a loophole you can use, and that is if your partner is not aware and not able to have that cohesion with you in building that type of boundary, you can connect to your partner's higher self to assist you, or your partner's guides to assist you and your guides in setting it. Okay? Mine is set so that when I go to sleep, there is no. I can do all the spirit work, talk to all the dead people I need to, do whatever outside of my body. And my body must receive its restorative REM sleep. We can do all the other stuff you want to, but the physical body needs to be allowed its restorative rest. I'm not going to give my specifics on what I did for mine, but that's the basics of it. My bedroom is a sacred space. It is the sacred space for me and my partner. I don't care if they want to be voyeurs, but they're not to disturb that sacred space. Out of body, in the dream world, fine. We can do whatever you guys want to do. And I'm out of body most of my time when I'm asleep now. That's one of the things that changed for me. I actually leave. and I do a whole lot of stuff, and I come back. But my physical self is allowed to stay within its realm for the length of time that it needs. And it's one of those things I really had to be firm about. I had to pretty much stand up and go, this is now going to be the rule. Okay? Love talking to you guys, love helping, love hearing your stories, but guess what? When this girl's body lays down for rest, everybody, you're going to have to wait, or you're going to have to talk to me in the dream state, or you're going to have to talk to me when I'm out of body, working in the astral planes. That's when I'm accessible. The physical essence needs this, and you will, this boundary is ever extensive. So that's my video on that one. So we are going to move into questions. Yes, I like questions. It's fun because, you know, everybody's unique. Everybody's got a different thing going on. Everybody's energy is a little different in how some of these tools work. All right. And I know, like, when I've done reading after reading, like now I do the radio blog talk on Friday nights, and so I'm flipping from one reading to another. I end up rather amplifying instead, and I end up amplifying everybody else that I'm connecting with. But as soon as that phone hangs up, right, even when I'm going from caller to caller, I am releasing the entire connection. Because guess what? When you're doing that, we throw out a little cord tapping in, right? It's an energetic link. Energetic links. So as soon as that's done, I go toop, toop, out to Mother Earth, out the feet, it's gone. Rolling from one to another. It's that continual flow. It's coming in, the information's handed off, and it's going out the feet. When doing readings for clients that you're doing over an extensive period, right? Remember, it's not yours, right? This is not yours. You're the conduit for the moment. You have permission when that session starts, and your permission ends when it finishes. You need to release it and let it go. It's not for you to keep. It's not for you to, you know, unless you made an agreement with your client that I'm going to look into a couple other things for you and get back to you. Then you can keep the channel open. But otherwise, honey, let those shit go. Let those cords go. Even if you need to do a cord cutting. Imagine you have a big energetic pair of scissors like you see for master ceremonies. Clip that baby. Release it. Release them. Okay? Because it's not yours. And as long as you keep those connections, guess what? That's a two-way flow. It's a very open two-way flow, back and forth. So you need to let it go. Release it. And allow them to connect into another, to their own conduits, right? Because everybody is one, in one way or another. I'm not sure what else. Like I said, I don't, well, my biggest notes were just some of the tools to use. So, questions. I'm going to scroll back and see if there's some other questions I didn't get to answer while we were going. Goodness. I can't see. All right, well, I can't see the scroll of questions at the moment because my computer's not liking it. So now's your opportunity to pick my brain, what you need, what you got, what's holding you up. um, is there something else you want to address? Something you've tried that's not working so good? Something you've heard about that you would like a little bit more discussion about? So bring it up. How do you feel about a diet that burns oils instead of wax? I'm not quite sure what you mean, Chris. Is it supposed to be a do-it-yourselfer? Is that what I'm seeing? A DIY? I love oils, actually. I really do. I'm very, very low in my stock at the moment, but there's even some people out there that work with oils that can make you formulas specific to you, the intent, the home. Oh, I didn't talk about crystal grids, did I? Crystal grids are awesome. Awesome. I have one over my property. I have one in my home that connects to the one in the property. So that's another great tool that you can do. And it makes your home that sacred space. Actually use. Okay. I follow you, Chris. Actually, I think they're great. You know, to me, the key is really the ones that feel right to you. You know, when I use oils, I mix a lot of my oils up when I'm going to burn them on charcoal. Like, I love carnation oil for the power that it has. And I love mixing oils with resins because I find that they kind of end up amplifying onto one another when on the charcoal. So to me, using oils is just as valuable. It all depends on the intent that you're working on and how it feels with your particular energy. Because like I said, one person might be great with working with, I love when my brain goes blank, but one person might be really, really good with only working with perhaps a physical stick for any kind of clearing. And others, like me, I like to mix it up. I like to blend things. But I also pay attention to what I'm blending and what power those elements have in the form that they're in. So the one caution I would have on oils is making sure that you're using a good quality of the oil, because you'll find that a lot of oils now in the market are mixed with base oils and really diffuse the essence. So I like to work more with very pure oils and then mix myself instead. Does that answer what you were inquiring? Something else I forgot to mention about was using Epsom salts. We hear a lot about Epsom salt. And Epsom salt is fantastic. But I'm going to tell you, as a woman, you need to be careful about Epsom salt. Okay, some women get our female parts can get very irritated by Epsom salt soaps in the bathtub. Yeah, so be careful. Use in moderation. I find for me, I hate soaking in the bathtub. I love a hot tub. Plan to get another one time soon, but for me, soaking in the bathtub doesn't work. But what I use instead is a foot bath, a foot soak with the Epsom salts, because everything can be drawn out of the bottoms of the feet. And that's another good way of helping to clear and cleanse your energy on a regular basis. It's just giving yourself a foot soak, 15 minutes with some Epsom salt, maybe some lavender. Toss it in there. But what I hope a lot of you have been able to learn from this is that we have many, many tools to help us with our boundaries, with creating protections, with cleansing our energy, with cleansing and clearing our homes, ourselves, others. Something else I didn't bring up, that literally just popped back into my head, is about fluffing your aura, raking your aura. You ever heard of those terms? In the healing touch protocols, they have about fluffing the aura. So it's one of those things that sounds kind of strange, right? How do you fluff your aura? And it's literally, if you picture your aura, okay, we all know we have it. It's that energetic expression of our four layers of being in this physical realm. Fluffing your aura. Hands are in a scoop, and it's scoop. See, scoop. Think of it like if you've got feathers, right? If your aura were feathers, all right? So scooping, make sure you scoop at the top, go all the way down to the feet. You're scooping. One thing I like to do when I'm working with energy, whether it's other people's energy, my own energy, doesn't really matter. When I get down to a bottom spot, I blow it off. I send it with the intent of sending it back to Earth, back to universe. And then I go back and do the next one, raking your energy. Fingernail claws, right? You're raking through. If you're going to do these methods, make sure you do a nice smooth, which is a smoothing is a consistent push of flow, right? You're not stopping, you're not hesitating anywhere. You're going from the top to the bottom in one smooth flow and out. That also is something you can do anywhere. And I'll tell you what, there was something that came up while I was taking my shower prepping for this. And I had to laugh because my spirit guide, Ezra, is quite a comedian. But he did want me to mention this, and so this may be my closing moment, I'm not sure. For those of you who have to go out into the corporate world and are out working in whatever field you're in, and you're sensitive, or you're needing to do a quick little visualization of a clearing shower, or do a little fluff on that aura, Ezra, I love you. He wanted me to mention, guess what? Everybody has to go to the bathroom, right? You're in your cubicle, you're working away, stress is hitting you, you're bombarded, you're feeling like, man, I need to I need to regroup here for a minute. Nobody's going to question you about going in the bathroom, right? Everybody's got to do business. Guess what? Spirit really doesn't give a shit if you're sitting on the toilet. You can do an energy cleanse. You can do an aura fluff. You can rake. You can smooth. You can connect. You can pretty much do anything in that moment. It's the one place people don't disturb you, right? For men, yeah, you got the urinals, but you guys got some little cubbies back there too. And if you're needing a moment and you're a male that knows you're picking up all of this external energy that's bombarding you because of where you're at in the moment, go in there, close the door. Nobody's gonna know, right? Use it. It's there. You're in the grocery store. You're in Home Depot. Wherever. That is a place that you can sneak away and go, okay, I need to get put together here. Right? Right? Use the tools that are around you. So, add plants to your home. Think about a crystal grid. Mine is like a great big umbrella over the entire, we have 2.5 acres of property, so my husband and I did it as a team because this is our home together. We created a crystal grid, and in fact, yes, I do actually have crystals, raw crystals, that are buried at north, east, south, west. And what I did was we did that, and then we have them anchored. We have it all anchored to a crystal inside the home. So when when either one of us feels the need to change it or boost it or cleanse it or clear it, we don't have to go dig those other crystals up. We use the anchor crystal that's in the center of our home. That is our focal point. That is where we do all of the rebuilding, restructuring of the grid, the cleansing and the clearing of it. And it shoots, again, energy and intent. We shoot it up through that anchor to go through to all of the others. So that's another thing you can work with. Maybe we do an episode doing more about grids. You can do grids just about for anything, for any kind of intent, for your work, whatever. Camphor with your clothes. Yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one, Chris. Yeah, camphor is an excellent, excellent words are dropping out of my head. The spirit is getting very busy for me at the moment. So, any more questions that anybody has before we sign off for the day? Need a little water. What else was I going to bring up? I think there was something else I wanted to bring up. It totally went out of my head, so I don't know. I guess we'll address that another time then. So, I hope this has helped answer what's the difference between a protection and a boundary. Okay, Lydia, I would say boundaries are pretty much your rules. Okay, the rules that you're setting for how spirit and the living or any energy form is able to interact with you or use you. A protection, protections to me are more of an energetic field trying to put the visual that's in my head into words. A protection is more of an energetic field that you can build and use as your own tool. Protections can be done as mantras, as visualizations. I do notice there's a bigger need. One of the protections that I love to use is I use a golden bubble that surrounds my entire energetic being. And it has a lot more to do with the in and out of what can attach to your energy, what you can allow, what's going to get allowed in, what's not. For me, I always build my bubble of protection is, as wide as my arms, all the way to the fingertips, complete circle around. I also like to use mine that I put reflective mirrors on the outside of it so that, and this is again an energetic visualization, that mine has, and a lot of people are learning more about this. We keep bringing it up, and I know there's a lot of us bringing it up, using mirrors on the outside of it to reflect back that which is not of service to your personal energy. So to me, they're kind of distinguished that way, where your boundaries are the rules you have set for interaction with your energy, and the protection is more of the individual bubble. I don't know why I'm doing a bubble, but that's my best version. When I go out in public, is it a protection or a boundary around you? I have a protection around me. Okay? I use a protection around me. My boundaries are rules of engagement. That make it a little bit more understanding? Boundaries are the rules of engagement. Protection is tending to my personal field. So when I go out, I strengthen my protection bubble. So that way I'm not getting bombarded with everybody else's crap. I can go out and enjoy whatever I want to enjoy. And I am also not picking stuff up. So for me, I like that bubble of for my personal self. And then my boundaries are the rules of engagement with me on a physical and energetic level. So like when I go out, because I love to go to rock concerts, okay? That's one of my, Heavy and I love to go to a rock concert. But that's a really big crowd. That is a really big crowd usually at a concert, right? So my protections are for me to go out and enjoy. My boundaries are my rules of engagement. And so, for instance, for something like that, even though I may be in a setting where there's tons of spirits wanting to interact, my boundary is set that this is my time of pleasure and joy. Interference, no. So my boundaries are the rules of engagement of when I am open to work, what they can and cannot do as far as working with me. I only allow a spirit to merge with me if it's got a purpose that I will agree to, not just random. No. You want random, you are able to come and talk to me, but you will adhere to my boundaries, the rules of engagement, you know. I hope that makes it more sense for you. Any other question? Now is your opportunity. Yeah, I'm always open for people asking questions or messaging with questions, and most of the time I can answer. Sometimes I get a little stuck. But yeah, that's the way that I see it too. Yeah, protection is the intention. Yeah, I would go with that. So, don't be afraid of standing your ground, even with spirit. Oh. Oh. What do I do when you meet someone who has crappy energy? Oh, we all know some of those, right? Yeah, used to run into a lot of those when I worked in hotels doing accounting. I handled it totally different back then. Now it's completely new. Not completely new. New technique, I guess, from the old one. When I meet someone who has really shitty energy, first thing I do for me, I push my bubble bigger. My bubble of protection, my space, right? Because everybody's got personal space. Think of that as your protective circle. The instinct for us as humans, anytime there's something that is feels a resistance to it, right? Whether it's somebody that's got just really shitty, crappy energy, or you're feeling like a fear in the situation, anything like that. Our natural instinct as a human is to pull everything in closer to us, right? We curl up, we want to ball up. What you want to do is the opposite. You want to push out, expand that bubble bigger, make your personal space bigger. You can amp it, right? Think about it. Like you just added 10 volts more to it, okay? Push it out further. What you're going to find is that other person starts kind of getting a little more, wait a minute, I'm getting hit with something that's unfamiliar. Another thing I like to do with it, and this is something that has kind of become second nature, right? On that outside protective bubble, I like to make like a visualization of a, how do I want to put this? You know the thing that they use to get maple out of the maple trees that they plug in and the sap drains out, right? I put one of those in reverse on the outside of my protective bubble so that each time that person is getting closer to me, it's actually pulling that muck and kind of draining it out back to Mother Earth, transforming, transmuting. And my energy of intent on that plug is that everything that comes out comes back in with joy and laughter, right? It kind of flips the switch for the other person. They don't realize it. But if they're going to be hitting me with that shit, I can put that plug, that visualization of that plug, that all that shit is just draining. It's going to Mother Earth, getting transmuted, and it's getting replaced with joy and laughter. And why joy and laughter? Not everybody can connect with love. Okay? Love and laughter, the pureness of laughter, is the highest vibration with love. Okay? People who have some of the crappiest energy can laugh. Laughter changes energy. So if I put that intent on it, that it's going to bring more joy and more laughter to that person, then I can start firing with words. Words of intent with those two bases. Because as soon as that shitty energy starts laughing, the dynamic and it starts to shift. Some of those little tricks. You're not harming them. There's no ill intent in it. It's a replacement. It's changing and transmuting what was coming towards you. Does that answer? And as you know, everybody can have a crappy day and have shitty energy, but I know you're referring to the ones that really hold some stagnant old crap. I mean, they're holding on to everything from, them falling on their ass in a diaper and their mom didn't pick them up, to the boss yelling at them or unhappy in their relationships, or this or that. So yeah, there's those, and that's one of my favorite tricks, because not everybody is able to receive love. And I know that sounds weird, right? But in the physical essence, there are some people who have a very difficult time receiving love. But the one emotion that crosses every boundary, from the hardcore, meanest, grumpiest, shittiest person walking the planet, laughter, baby. If you can get them to just go, you just broke the ice. You just changed that energy. You just shifted something. That's my favorite, absolute favorite in all the tools we've got. Out of all the shit, laughter is the best freaking tool I've ever found and ever used. I can giggle to people and they start giggling. And it's contagious. And if you can get somebody to crack with even just a, yeah, it changes the energy you're giving and it changes the energy you're receiving. And it can literally shift masses of shit energy the more you get people to laugh. So, last call for questions, because I'm over already. Who gives a shit? But I do want to make sure that if anybody has any questions, that we're able to provide an answer for before signing off. So it'll be great the more that you guys get to explore. I'm excited because I think we may have helped at least a couple people, use the tools we have, and you'll be amazed at how things start to move with smoother momentum for yourself. Add some plants, add some flowers. Like I said, for those of you that missed the beginning, great reference tools, 101 power crystals. This is great, gives you the history of the crystal, how it used to be used, how to use it now, kinds of good shit. And my favorite, Cunningham's Encyclopedia for Magical Herbs. Okay. Again, this comes into play for protections, clearing, cleansing, boundaries, all of it, because guess what? Mother Earth has so much to help us, and we just need to learn which ones are the right ones for us, from putting plants in your flower beds to help your home become your sanctuary space. And I say that as it can get really daunting dealing with people, dealing with energy, dealing with residual energy, dealing with spirit, crossing over spirits, portals, you name it. Your home can be your sanctuary where, you have your boundaries in place for that space as well, but you're not having to work so hard. Add the tools, see what you got, play with it, mix it up, and you'll end up finding that life gets a whole lot better. So, that's my spiel for today. I don't see any further questions. Everybody's gotten a little quiet. So, sachets, crystals, plants, grids, flowers, prayers, mantras, salts, resins, visualizations. Not everything needs a meditation. Use it all. Play. See what you find that works better for you. And don't forget, as you grow, as you expand, as those around you change, as circumstances change, your boundaries, your protections, your cleansings, your clearings need to change and grow with you. Okay? Oh, I did remember something. That was the little that left my head earlier. When you leave a job, when you leave a home and go to a new location, clear the space from your energy. Use any form that works for that space, that works for you, but you want to clear it of your energy. You Sell your house. Clear your energy. You're moving from a rental to a different rental. Clear your energy, because guess what? We leave pieces of us in those spaces. New residents, you don't know what your buyers have. You don't know what the next renter has for baggage. But when we leave pieces of us, attachments to our energy, cords to a home, cords to a rental, doesn't matter, even on a car, clear it. That way, the new owners, the new people in that space, it's not going to have a reverb channel to you. Just like cutting cords, same concept, cut the cords, release it and clear the space of you, of your family. And that way, whoever comes in behind you, there's no link for their crap to follow you to your new place. Cars, work, home, all those things. Okay? Got that one. Thanks, guys. So, we're out of here. And there's the chickens. I hope this was helpful. I hope it gave some clarity, gave some ideas, and we'll check you guys next time. If there's any suggestions, ideas, topics that you guys would like discussed, brought out into the open, get some different points of view on, please message, post on my page, any of those things, and we'll do it. Okay? We'll sit down, we'll talk about it. That's what we do. Anyway, many blessings to all of you. Have a day filled with joy and laughter. And if you don't have it in you today, go watch something really funny. Throw in those old cartoons. You never know. Bye, guys.